yesterday, we started learning about how we are going to be making our writing better by going through the writing process. And we talked about how we have been doing a really good job of pre-writing. We've been doing a really good job of drafting. And what did we say that was like a plant when we write our first little stories? What are those like?
When it like sprouts up?
Yes. The first draft is kind of like the sprout of a plant when it just starts, okay? But we've been stopping there. And is that where we want our plants to stop?
No.
No, we want our plants to grow into full plants. Same thing with our stories. We want our stories to grow into full stories. And so we are learning about one way to revise our stories and make them better is to choose very specific words. What I've had you write down in your topics is that we're talking about word choice, right? So yesterday we read a book and we listened for the really interesting words. Today we're going to start reading another book. It's called Firefly Mountain. I was drawn to this book in the library just by the title and the cover. Does that ever happen to you when you're in the library? You see a book and you think, wow, I want to look at that book. And when I opened it up, I was really impressed. This author, her name is Patricia Thomas. She does a fantastic job of choosing very specific words for exactly what she means. Yes, sir?
My grandma's name is Patricia.
Oh, neat. So let's listen in the first couple of pages of Firefly Mountain and listen for the really interesting words. Okay? Let's listen for them. Firefly Mountain. Painting, isn't it pretty? It's got beautiful illustrations too. The whole long yellow afternoon, the sun boiled down so hot. The heat squiggled up in waves from the meadow. I mean, already, just the first sentence. Haven't we heard a couple of interesting words?
Yes.
Like good specific words. What did you hear? The sun. What did it say?
Meadows.
Listen again. The whole long yellow afternoon, the sun boiled down so hot. The heat squiggled up waves from the meadow. So you think meadow is interesting also? Okay. So I'm going to put up here, I'm going to make a chart. Squiggled. Okay. The heat squiggled.
Meadow.
And we're going to put meadow. And we're going to put boiled.
So I have a connection.
I'm so glad you have a connection. I'm going to keep going, but I'm really glad that you have a connection because we have connections when we're listening and when we're reading. That's great reading skills. Wow, look at all the pretty yellow.
She's the lady.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even finish that first page. Silly Mrs. Bell. The sweet, dry smell of clover hay floated over to where the oaks dropped fat, round shadows. Those are interesting words too, isn't it? Shadows. That's interesting. Let's listen. Bob White whistled out beyond the fence row. Bob White, Bob White. Mama brought out a big jug of lemonade and set it down in the shadows. Maybe tonight we'll see a Firefly Mountain, she said. Papa took a long drink of the lemonade. Maybe, when it's dark, I wasn't sure what a Firefly Mountain was. I didn't think I had seen one before, not even when I was little last summer. One word that jumped out at me when I was reading this was the word whistled.
Yes.
Okay? Because they could have said that the Bob Whites sang their song, like we would normally say that a bird sings its song, but they said whistled. And I think that's very specific. So I'm going to add it on to my list. Those birds whistled. Okay? Next page. Orange and black monarch butterflies danced over to see about the lemonade. I took a long drink of it too, and on purpose, I let water drops from the jug make a cool little river down my back. Isn't that a nice image? The drops making a cool little river down his back. Yes, sir?
The last page you read, I used to go to speech. My speech teacher was named Miss Erica. She she taught me like some of these words, like, and she taught me synonyms, antonyms. I'm just trying to make a connection.
Okay, good. I half wished the yellow afternoon would go on and on, filled with clover smell and lemonade and butterflies and bob white whistles. But then I half wished it would hurry and end so I could see the Firefly Mountain. Have you ever half wished something?
Yes.
You kind of want. So instead of saying I kind of wanted, this author chose a very specific 2 words. She said half wished. I love that. I think that's very interesting. So I am going to add it over here. Half wished. Now that's not really one word. That's kind of like a phrase. But I think it's really interesting. It doesn't matter which way you wish, though. It takes just as long as it takes to turn a yellow afternoon into a purple evening. Isn't that neat? A yellow afternoon into a purple evening. Think about that. Why would she say that? Why don't you tell somebody near you why she would say that?
Because the color
Like say yellow afternoon.
yellow
Sunny
is the one,
and hot, and purple afternoon because it's
the sun is yellow, and then like the sky is purple when it's in the afternoon.
I agree. It's yellow, the sun is yellow in the afternoon, right?
And purple's
then
like
in
a dark-
the evening, when the sun goes down, the sky can look kind of purple. Sometimes it can look pink, sometimes it can look purple. Yeah. So really good specific words here. Okay? Now, I'm not going to finish reading this book. I'll finish reading it to you later. But right now, while we are used to tuning into those interesting words, I want you to practice. Okay? I am going to give everybody 2 strips of yellow paper. I have them right here. And what I want you to do is I have some words. I have some books around the room that I think the author did a good job of using some interesting words. What I want you to do is take 2 of these strips with you, and I want you to choose one of the books. I have some over here on the red bench, some on the table where we walk in, and some on my round table. You're going to go through and you're going to choose a picture book. It's fiction, so this is not reading our nonfiction for the text features. This is reading some fiction to learn from the authors about how they use interesting words. While you're reading, I want you to find 2 words, and 2 words only. So choose your words carefully that you think are really nice and interesting. What you might want to do is kind of flag one if you think it's going to be one of your choices, but not write it down yet. Kind of think about your 2 as you go along, and then maybe when you finish the book, write down your 2 very favorite interesting words. And I want you to come over here and you're going to staple them to the wall over here when we're done, okay? We're going to staple them onto here to these interesting words. I'm going to move this down here. So you're going to put these on the poster. What questions do you have? Really interesting words. Yes?
Is it 2 per strip or?
No. 1 strip per word. So if I wanted to put whistled, I would do this. I would want to write it fairly big so that it could be seen on the poster. And I would want to make sure, look how I'm looking back and forth. I would want to make sure that I am copying it down exactly right. Because I don't want to put something on this strip of paper that's going to be spelled incorrectly. If it's going to be on the wall, we want to spell it correctly. And if it's in your book, is there any reason why you should misspell it if you're copying it down? No. Okay. If you don't know what the word is, but you like it and you think it's interesting and you kind of think you might know what it is, do you think it's okay to choose that?
Yes.
Yeah, it's interesting. Any other questions? Yes?
Actually, I don't have a question, but.
Okay, any other questions? Come tell me what you want to tell me in just a little bit. Yes. Everybody's going to get 2.
Okay.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Can we get like 1 word from 1 book and then get another book?
No, one book. Good question. Only 1 book. 2 words from 1 book. Yes.
Can we work with someone?
No, I want you to do this by yourself. Good question. Anything else? Okay. Let's have Sharif,